Every month you earn money, and every month most of it disappears. Bills, rent, subscriptions, stuff you won't remember buying. And at the end of the month, you're back to zero. The richest people in the world have the same 24 hours and often started with less. The difference isn't income, it's a system. 3 numbers. 50, 35, 15. This is the system I use to manage every dollar that comes in. My name is Serge Kaps. I've built and scaled multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses. Today, I run my own family office where I invest in businesses, real estate, and financial markets. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice, just someone who has figured this out the hard way. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with the part that actually makes you wealthy. 35 cents of every dollar you earn should go toward building assets. And if you're thinking, well, I don't have 35%, stay with me. I'll show you how to free up that money in a few minutes. Not saving, building. There is a difference. Saving means your money sits in a bank, slowly losing value to inflation. Building means your money is working, growing, compounding, generating income while you sleep. Now, most financial advice will tell you to just throw everything into an index fund and forget about it. And that's not bad advice for beginners, but it's not how wealthy families actually manage their money. The wealthiest families in the world use something called a family office structure. And the core idea is simple. You split your money into 3 baskets. Basket number 1, stability. This is your foundation, and most people don't have one. Over half of Americans can't cover an unexpected $1,000 expense, 1 car repair, 1 medical bill, and they're in debt. So first, you build an emergency fund. 5 months of essential expenses. But here's what matters, where you keep it. Most people leave their emergency fund in a regular bank account that pays almost nothing. But in almost every country, there are saving accounts that pay you 5 to 10 times more interest on the same money. In the US, they are called high-yield savings account. In the UK, it might be a top-rate savings account. Whatever it's called where you are, find the one with the highest rate and move your money there. Just make sure your deposits are insured. Most countries have a program for that. Same money, same safety, just a smarter place to park it. Once your emergency fund is full, stop saving. That's a key shift most people miss. You don't save forever. Once you have 5 months covered, every extra dollar moves to basket number 2. After that, basket 1 also holds your safest assets: bonds, treasuries, things that don't swing wildly. This money has one job: protect everything else. Basket number 2, income. Now this is your engine: index funds, S&P 500, dividend ETFs. These are assets that grow steadily over time and put money back in your pocket. For most people, the basket should be the biggest. Set up an automatic monthly transfer into a tax-advantaged account, a Roth IRA, a 401k, an ISA, whatever your country offers. And if your employer offers a match, take it. All of it. That's literally free money. If they match 3% of your salary, and you don't contribute at least 3%, you're leaving thousands on the table every single year. But then, buy broad index funds and don't touch them. You don't need to check charts, don't need to time the market, you just need to be consistent. I had a friend who kept saying he'd start investing once he had enough money. First, it was, I'll start when I make 6 figures. Then it was, after I pay off the car. Then once the kids are in school. 10 years went by, and if he just put $200 a month into an S&P 500 index fund at an average 10% return, he'd be sitting on over $40,000 today. But he invested zero. The gap is $40,000 and growing every day. Not from some genius move, just from starting. And here's what makes it crazy. $200 a month at 10% average return for 30 years turns into over $400,000. You put in $72,000. The market gives you the rest. That's compound interest, and it only works if you actually start. Then basket number 3. Growth. This is where you take smart, calculated risks. Individual stocks you've researched, a business you're building, real estate deals, high conviction bets. This is not gambling. This is money you can afford to lose. But you're putting it into things you genuinely understand and believe in. The key is the order. Stability first, income second, growth third. Don't skip to basket number 3 because it sounds exciting. That's how people lose everything. Build the foundation first, then build the engine, then take your shots. Now, none of this works if your lifestyle eats everything first. That's why 50% of your income and no more goes to keeping your life running. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, insurance, that's it. Not restaurants, not subscriptions, not that new jacket you've been eyeing, just the basics that keep you alive and functioning. Now, 50% might sound tight. And honestly, for a lot of people it is. That's the point. When you keep your essentials at 50%, it forces you to make smarter choices about the big stuff. Because here's what most people get wrong. They try to save money by cutting small expenses. Skip the coffee, cancel Netflix, that barely moves the needle. The two categories that actually matter are housing and transportation. Those two alone eat up over 30% of most people's income. So if you want to win this game, negotiate about rent. Buy a reliable used car instead of leasing new. Move closer to work if you can. One smart decision on housing saves you more in a month than skipping coffee saves you in a year. Here are a few things you can do this week. 1. Do a subscription audit. Go through your bank statement and cancel everything you haven't used in the last month. You'll be surprised how much is leaking out. 2. Call your landlord and negotiate your rent. Most landlords would rather give you a discount than deal with finding a new tenant. And 3. The 24-hour rule. Before you buy anything that's not essential, wait for 24 hours. Half the time, you'll forget you even wanted it. And 4. This is my favorite. Download your bank statement and upload it to ChatGPT or Claude. Ask it to categorize your spending, find patterns, and suggest where to cut. It takes 5 minutes and it's like having a free financial analyst look at your money. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes. This shows you instantly. Now let me tell you a story about what happens when you ignore all of this. I had a close friend who learned this the hard way. His business was booming. Revenue was through the roof, so he started spending like it. Designer clothes, a $130,000 Mercedes for his wife, expensive apartment, always picking up the check at a dinner. From the outside, he looked like a millionaire. Then the business started slipping. Revenue dropped and dropped again. And suddenly, all those fixed costs, the lease, the car payment, the lifestyle were still there, but the income wasn't. So he ended up in a serious debt. And to make it worse, he found out his wife had been cheating on him the entire time. No savings, no safety net, no marriage. He looked like a millionaire until he went broke. He is still digging out of that hole today. That's what happens when your lifestyle outgrows your income. The 50% cap isn't about being cheap. It's about making sure that one bad quarter doesn't destroy everything you have built. If you're watching this and this story hit a little too close to home, subscribe. I make videos like this every week to help you build real wealth. Not theory, real systems. Now here's where I'm going to say something that almost nobody in personal finance talks about. Your last 15% splits into two parts. Half goes to enjoying your life and half goes to giving. And before you think, I barely have enough for myself, why would I give money away? Let me tell you something I learned from one of the hardest periods of my life. Some time ago, my business was in a slow decline. Revenue was dropping month after month, and I became obsessed with cutting costs. Every expense felt like a threat. Every dollar going out felt like a loss. I stopped spending on anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. No dinners, no trips, no generosity, just survival mode. And you know what happened? Everything got worse. Not just the business, my energy, my thinking, my creativity. I was so focused on the falling numbers that I became the falling number myself. It was a mental trap. The more I operated from scarcity, the more scarcity I created. It took me a while to realize that the way you spend programs the way you think. And when you give even a small amount, your brain registers something very powerful. It says, we have enough, we're doing well, we can afford to help others. That's not woo-woo, that's psychology. And where your subconscious believes you're in a position of abundance, you make better decisions. You see more opportunities and you take smarter risks. Giving is a training tool for your internal state. If that just shifted something in your head, hit like. It takes 1 second and it helps more people see this. So start small. And in the beginning, maybe your 15% splits 10 and 5. 10% for enjoyment and 5% for giving. And as your income grows, move towards 50-50. The enjoyment part keeps you sane. There's a book called Die with Zero that makes a powerful argument. The goal of money is not to die with the biggest bank account. It's to use your money to create a rich life when you're alive. A great dinner, a weekend trip, a gift for someone you love. Without this, you'll burn out. And I'm speaking from experience. And the giving part keeps you sharp. It keeps your mind in growth mode instead of survival mode. That's the 50-35-15 rule. 50% to live, 35% to build across 3 baskets the way the wealthiest families do, and 15% to enjoy and give. Now the beauty of this system is that it works whether you're making 30,000 or 300,000. The percentages stay the same, only the numbers change. And if you're thinking, I can do 35% right now, that's okay. Start with 10%, then 15, then 20. The exact number matters less than the structure. Once you have the system, your money has a job, and every dollar knows where to go. This is how the wealthiest people in the world manage their money. Not with complicated strategies, not with stock tips, with a system. 10 years from now, you'll either have a system that built your wealth, or you'll wish you had one. Now, I put together something for you. It's a free guide that breaks down the entire 50-35-15 system on one page. The 3 baskets inside the bill layer, how to set up each one, which accounts to use, and and a simple tracker to see where your money is going right now. Link is in the description. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, send it to them. I'll see you in the next one.